Uh, Welcome, Dr. Rajkumar, Path Soni, Dr. Vijay Patel, team members from Alpha. Thank you so much for taking this up and for getting time to participate in this. So, we all of us would like to welcome you, and please go ahead and let us know more about Alpha Healing programs and the topic that we're going to discuss, starting with the presentations and introductions of the team from Alpha Healing.
Okay. So hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Vikram, for your brief introduction about today's program, Balancing Life Post-COVID. This is Vijay Patel, CEO for Alpha Healing Center. And it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this discussion because it's not about just general public, but everybody today is having this one major question that how do we bounce back in life post-COVID? Because the challenges that this pandemic has brought has given us a lot of good learnings. And at the same time, it has given us a new direction that in future, how do we come out of such stress? Because such a pandemic has never been seen by the global community in last 100 years, way back in 1919 when the Spanish flu pandemic was there. So with this, I will request the audience that we have two eminent speakers, and whatever questions you have or whatever comes to your mind, please feel free to ask, because this is important even for people like me. Even though I am the CEO, but what I am going through is what each and everyone is going through. So thank you so much. And my request is to hand over this to Dr. Rajkumar and then Dr. Path. So over to Dr. Rajkumar. Thank you.
Good evening and good morning, friends in the country and around the globe. I thank Vikram for giving us an opportunity to present our views on the scenario and the situation right now and the way it ought to come out and we ought to cope up with it. Humans have lived in a society closely knit and are dependent upon one another socially, economically, and emotionally. We always have advocated that united we fall, united we stand, divided we fall. However, these very pillars have been shattered for now. We are telling or talking about keep distance, isolate, stay indoors. The pandemic has been of such a gravity that even the socially developed nations having a good medical infrastructure have fallen flat, unable to cope up with the onslaught of COVID-19. Added to that, the poor information about the illness or its treatment modalities has only added to the confusion and the insecurity. In addition to it, the fact that extremes of ages being the most vulnerable and difficult to treat due to the coexisting comorbidities has put a lot of pressure on the public as well as the governments managing the scenario. The uncertainty of who is going to get what the symptoms are is something which leaves us baffled because we do not know who and what could perhaps be the reasons for getting the illness and disturbing life. With this background, let us try to understand what happens now. Ratan Tata did say that in 2020, if you are alive, that is your profit. So don't look at anything else, but learn to be alive at least in 2020. Then we can come back and come out of this situation. Growth always comes when we come out from the comfort zones. Up till now, we have all been in the comfort zones, and now we have been thrown out into the array of stress. Adversity is the mother of trying to bring out resilience in us. And we all have seen stress is a normal response to any emergency situation. An emergency situation brings a lot of uncertainty and sudden changes in day-to-day functionings, which is true in the current scenario as well. What are the common symptoms that people see related to the current pandemic that is going on. There could be physical symptoms, there could be psychological symptoms, there could be cognitive difficulties. Physical symptoms in the form of tightness in the chest, breathing difficulties, palpitations, digestive symptoms, muscle tensions, headaches, body aches, pains, difficulty in sleeping, changes in sleep patterns and feeling tired. An array of symptoms that could be seen on the physical side. On the psychological side, a lot of restlessness, inability to relax, anxiety, panic states, sadness, irritability, anger, boredom, loneliness. On the cognitive difficulties, one can find difficulties in the concentration, forgetfulness, negative thoughts, worries and fears, a sense of hopelessness brewing around. Behavioral changes could also be seen due to the stress that is prevalent around. An increase in the use of substances is very commonly seen. It could be alcohol, it could be tobacco, it could be drugs. People may isolate, withdraw, and spend more time on the social media and get hooked on to the net also. Next. Parth, the next slide.
Yes, sir, I have done.
Yeah. Anxiety and worries can range from being mild and transient to becoming severe and disruptive. In addition to physical symptoms, one may experience the following symptoms very often. Vigilance to threat. Checking for symptoms of COVID or COVID-related news, as we are bombarded with so much of information which do not convey anything specific, but an array of doubts in the minds, thoughts related to the threat and danger, exaggerate mild symptoms. We often think of adverse or negative consequences like contracting the illness or losing people, our near and dear ones, etc. Worry is something which is going to be virtually running us down. What if I contract the virus when I go out and spread it to my family? What if I lose the job? What if I get bad marks? The what if is something which keeps haunting one and all. Anxiety is about one's own health, health of the loved ones, getting medical help, fear if they get infected, reaching home, basic facilities, even that is put under a lot of pressure. Being able to foot the bill is also another anxiety which keeps haunting one and all. If they are under quarantine or isolation, the stigma, the fear of testing positive, anxiety about getting cured, etc., are some things which always keep disrupting one and all. How will I manage work, both household as well as work if it is working from home? Because that is something which keeps putting pressures a lot presently. Many of the women who are working as well as managing the home front in the present scenario, with the children also being asked to work from home or study from home, is an added pressure which one is not able to cope up with. As in this pandemic, many things are not under our control. It is natural to feel sad, angry, anxious, helpless, and stressed out. What should be done? Control. Easily said, difficult to undergo. What is it that one can control? Remember, you cannot stop hypothetical worries from occurring, but you can control your response to them. It is the birthright of the mind to think. You cannot ask your mind not to think. But what response to give to the thought is something you have command and control over. Within my control is building resilience, following the latest informations and advice, focusing on what's important to me, my information on diet, my routine, my relaxation techniques that I can learn, cultivating connections, eating well, exercising, seeking and offering support, voting and activism. These are things which are in my control, which I have got to sort of do up. There are things which are outside my control, over which I have no command or exercise any restraint, like other people's decisions, other people's health, the news that flows through across us, the government's actions, school openings or closings, the state of healthcare system, flights and holidays being cancelled, traffic, public transport, aging and weather. These are the uncertainties which are not in our control at all, but one has to learn to cope up and face with it. I always draw a parallel of a war and a battle. A battle is short-lived. You can fight for a day or two and win the battle, but a war is long drawn. And in a long drawn war, it is patience which pays in the long run. So this also is going to be a scenario like a world war. You have to be patient enough and learn what are the do's that I have got to do, and be able to contain the don'ts that I should avoid. Do's could be eating nutritious food, engaging in physical activities or exercise of your liking, exercise at home using online resources, nothing else possible, walk daily for 45 minutes to an hour, sleep adequately. If you are on prescription medications for a health condition, do take them regularly as prescribed. In the don'ts, avoid consumption of junk food and drinks. Do not use substances or addictive material to overcome this scenario. On the psychological aspect, the do's would be practice acceptance of the present situation. Denial is one defense mechanism which we always want to put across to ourselves that, look, nothing will happen to me. I don't want, this is not the situation that is going to be there. And that denial prevents us from bringing about abilities to cope up with the situation. If we accept the present scenario, we'll be able to enlighten with ourselves as to what we can do to cope up with it. Breathing awareness, meditations, read books that inspire you or that make you laugh. Consider the situation as a challenge and tell yourself, I or we can overcome this. A die-hard optimistic attitude is something very important. Belief in oneself is something very important. Practice gratitude each day by remembering at least one good positive thing at the end of the day. If I have been able to live this day, let me be thankful and grateful to the Almighty for seeing me through this day. In the don'ts, don't endlessly look for news and social media about the present pandemic situations, as it can evoke or invoke stress or anxiety, because the news would all be bombardments of half knowledge. Nothing is certain at this juncture. We are like the 5 blind men describing what an elephant looks like. Everyone today is wanting to get a hit at what is their opinion of the illness. Don't read, view news, videos from unauthorized sources, as they can make fake and increase the stress further. On the emotional side, talk with someone you trust about your negative feelings. Sharing your concerns, your anxieties always helps to minimize them and try to help you cope up with them. Engage in activities that help you express and process your feelings, such as writing a diary, blog, painting, dancing, singing. A word that I would like to always put across is, you should have a bag full of activities in the personal domain which can stand by you to cope up with the scenario and the situation. A healthy engagement in such activities will definitely distract the mind away from the anxious moments or the anxious thoughts or the insecure thoughts. In the don'ts, don't give into gloom or doom worries regarding the virus. Don't bottle up your negative feelings. If you try to suppress or contain your thoughts or your emotions as far as this, it is sitting like on a volcano. It is bound to explode at some point of time or the other. One of the techniques that we always say is ABCD technique. Attention. When you feel distressed, stop what you are doing and pay attention to your inner dialogue. What is your mind telling you? Evaluate it critically. Believe. Do not automatically believe your thoughts. Try to again evaluate critically. Challenge the thoughts or the emotions. Diffuse your anxiety by broadening your focus. When you think of a little something, the bigger picture, you'll always find the emotions diffusing. You will be able to minimize the anxiety. You might be able to think if you are feeling calmer. Acknowledge that anxiety has been in dominating your thinking, and let the unhelpful thoughts go. Whenever you reinforce an emotion to a thought, the thought is going to keep coming back again and again. So learn to dissociate the emotions from the thought. You will be able to look at them more objectively. Exploring options. What would be helpful to focus on right now? What options do I have? How can I divert my mind? The think technique. True. That means you should learn to question with a thought. Is this thought the truth? If not, what are the facts and what is the opinion? Helpful. Is this thought going to be helpful to me, or is paying attention to the thought going to be of use to me in trying to formulate a strategy to cope up with the scenario? Inspiring. Does the thought inspire me, or does it have the opposite effect? In the sense, is it helping me to cope up with the situation? Then I reinforce it. Is the thought necessary? Is it important for me to focus on the thought? Is it goal directed? Will it help me to grow to be a better individual? Kind. Is the thought kindful? If not, what could be a kinder thought? Are ways and means we can try to gradually cope up with the scenario. Parth can come in.
Hello. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this. I would like to continue from this slide. As sir has mentioned, physical aspect, psychological aspect, and emotional aspect, how to balance those aspects and move forward in the life. I would like to discuss few more aspects. This slide shows the social aspects that has to be considered to balance a good life. So the do's would be connect with your loved ones over phone, video call, WhatsApp, Messenger, and social media. This is the time to build a good connection with old relationship where we were not able to find enough time. Also, we can attend many online activities like music, storytelling, poetry sessions. There are many sites where we can visit the museums virtually and get knowledge about them. There are also many online games like Ludo King and all that, people playing with each other and staying connected by playing the games. Many things that we should not do in the social aspect is specifically not wearing mask, as the government is right now penalizing that thing. Also, if you are not wearing mask, you will be penalized on that part. Also, don't forget to maintain the social distance as prescribed by the government as well as health authorities. Otherwise, it might lead to harm to us as well as our family members. On coming to the spiritual domain, what we should do to take care of our spiritual self as well as sense of developing sense of meaning and purpose. spend time in reading, listening to spiritual literatures, podcasts, videos, and lectures on spirituality that helps to stabilize and anchor down the spiritual aspect of self. We can attend online spiritual and religious services. There are many spiritual and religious services which are offered in this crisis to reduce the emotional suffering as well as the health aspect, which helps us to our mind to stabilize. And if possible, uh, get in touch with your inner self by reflecting on the issues which holds most significance in your life, right? What are the don'ts? Don't participate physically in any spiritual or religious gathering without government's approval, as it might lead to spread of the virus. Many professional things that we should also take care of. If you are working from home or if you are studying, then stick to a proper schedule, just as you were doing it before COVID. It will help you in attention and focus in your work. If possible, have a specific space, chair, table designed at home specifically for work. Utilize the time to add knowledge and skills in your armamentarium. Otherwise, what will happen in this time? The time will be wasted a lot and worrying and thinking about things which are not in our control. So many universities are offering online courses. So take up those courses, start developing your skills, and initiate the activities which you were thinking about to start, but you were delaying. So plan to do that things. What should you don't do is don't get distracted while pursuing your work or study at your home, because there might be many distractions. So try to give the dedicated time for your work as well as stay in that particular place where you have which you have designated for work. There are some general suggestions also, like maintaining regular routines, time for sleeping, eating, hobbies, social interaction, exercises should be there, right? Also, if there are any problems, use problem solving techniques to solve a specific problem, be it work related, health related, family life related. Take proper precautions while going out, doing routine chores. It should not mean that life has come to an halt because of the pandemic, but yes, definitely we need to take certain precautions before entering in a crowded place or going outside. There are many anxiety reduction techniques like deep breathing, meditation, muscle relaxation technique. One of the technique that I would like to mention over here is abdominal breathing. Even if we practice it for 5-10 minutes every day, it helps us in reducing the anxiety and worries a lot. What you have to do is inhale gently and slowly, count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Expand your belly as you do so. When we inhale, our belly expands. So once the inhalation is complete in 4 count, hold that breath for 2 counts, 1 and 2, and then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this way, it will help your mind to get relaxed. Do this for at least 5-10 minutes in a day or wherever you are feeling stressed out. This will help you to stabilize the emotions and anxieties. It has also been noted that many altruistic activities have helped many people, specifically during this such times of crisis. The acts of kindness helps ourselves also to stabilize and reduce the anxieties and worries. So, who are in good condition and are well-to-do, they can help others who are in need, be it providing essential services like food packets, providing health services, taking care of the elderly, providing voluntary services, everything. If we are doing that helps us also and in building immunity as well as helping us in reduce the stress. So don't forget, you take care of yourself first, then go for altruistic activities. Otherwise, it might be causing harm rather than help. What if all of this is not working? Many times, even after trying all these things, we might not get desired results or we might still feel stressed or worried. Then the best possible option would be taking a professional help from a counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist, or doctors nearby. Right now, there are many doctors who are doing online consultations also to facilitate the treatment part and rehabilitate the person. So that should be another good option if we are not able to balance our life. So the take home message from this presentation would be that stress is a normal response to any emergency situation. And this being in pandemic and lasting for so many months now, obviously all of us are feeling some or other amount of stresses. So they might be due to various reasons, be it health, education, job, day-to-day functioning, availability of facilities, etc. But to cope with the stress is in our hands. As Sir rightly said, we should control what the things are in our control rather than worrying or thinking about things which are beyond our control. So a good routine, proper information using problem solving techniques, meditation techniques, breathing exercises, and accepting the situation as it is and trying to overcome it jointly helps us in fighting this war. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Here is a slide that I would like to share and explain you that whatever, if we see this as a problem, we will be feeling more problematic and we will be fixed in thinking about, oh, it's a big problem, it is making everyone sick. If my mindset is on fixed, then I will be scared and worried about what is not under my control and I will be thinking on that part. But if the mindset is of growth, I will be thinking about the taking precautions as well as taking this opportunity, taking this time in developing skills. And if my mindset will be innovative, then I will learn from this situation and try to make most of this situation. So which box we belong, we have to decide and we have to put our efforts on that. So I would like to end my presentation with this slide. In every crisis, there lies an opportunity. So if we are balanced enough to handle the crisis, definitely we can turn this crisis into an opportunity. Thank you so much for your listening. Sir, I would like you to chip in here.
As Dr. Path says, every crisis opens up an opportunity. There is always an opportunity in everything. So never ever give up. Perhaps this prayer sums it very effectively. To accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. One way of trying to help in this form is, I always keep saying, the mind is a wild horse. You need to learn to rein in. The two reins that you need to keep completely in command is cognition and emotions. If you are able to rein in these two, you'll be able to guide the horse in the direction you want it to go. The mind is impulsive. It is going to keep testing you. It is your ability to see how much you will be able to contain it and give a direction to it by critically evaluating your thoughts, reinforcing the ones which are goal-directed, ones which are rational, ones which will help you to live a better quality of life, and ignore the ones which will not meet this direction. Thank you very much for my presentation, for whatever we have offered to you.
To you and your entire team who helped us put this program in place, because as a center, we have very limited reach, you see, because our domain is primarily, you see, patients who need help. But today you have given us a reach to reach out on a very common problem that the entire community is facing. And me and my team are wholeheartedly thankful to you for providing us this platform. And we are always there to help. My team of doctors as well as Alpha is always there to help. Anybody who needs help can just visit our website, send us a request form, or give us a call on toll free, and we will try to help them out. Thank you, and God bless all.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.